rang through the armor of my heart.
Our hulls collide and everything goes pew pew.
Let us all unite so we can tear each other apart. Come fly with us, won't you lend a helping hand? Come fly with us, let the good times never end.
It triggered me constantly, but like, oh, hang on.
Sound glitch. And so nobody heard me out there introduce anything because nobody can hear me because I can't push the right buttons. And
yay!
So good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, however it is. Welcome to
good
the
night.
next episode of Push to Talk. And we've got everybody chit-chatting in the background. We've got Para here, so say hello, Para.
Hello, Para. That's me. I don't have
Okay.
to say Para. No,
Yeah, it's too hard to say. I can't do it.
It's
yeah,
easy.
no,
it's
Para's fine.
paramedic.
Yeah, this
there you go.
paramedic. Just Para's
McLeod,
fine.
McLeod has just elected himself the announcer next time. We've got Caleb here.
What's up?
Urandus making a big. He's got a big coffee break going on. Urandus, I gotta ask you: do you put cream in the coffee, black coffee? How you going here with the coffee today?
I do cream.
cream?
Typically, I'll just use like a normal cream. However, today on my way to the store, I felt being a little frisky, and so I got some hazelnut creamer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
You
will
might
say-
as well be making a frappuccino, for fuck's sake.
Hey, I can't. I
Hey,
actually
will-
can't stand frappuccinos. Those are all cream and like no coffee. I need coffee.
I will say that the Reese's peanut butter cup creamer is fantastic.
It's literally the best.
As is putting a little amaretto and or various Baileys in there. Make them yummy.
Yeah.
We got Scythe over there agreeing with me. How you doing, Scythe?
I am good. I'm proud of NVIDIA.
Proud of NVIDIA. We'll talk about that later. And we got McLeod hanging out there, hiding in the background.
What's up?
And we're going to have a special segment, McLeod's Juicy Topics today.
Juicy.
Juicy. And you know what else it looks like? It looks like Twitch chat feed is not working today.
Hooray!
Okay, look.
we
Now,
had,
when I ran the show,
Yeah.
I took a picture of the like I just cropped it out of the seat and dragged it in there eventually.
Maybe I'll do that.
Windows capture and just
That worked really well, I thought.
You mean where you were typing nonsense into the chat randomly?
Well, that was the first attempt. That was at first, but
I
later
mean,
on,
the most fun part of the attempt. That was the
right?
funny.
But later on,
It literally was the most entertaining thing on that show, I think.
Can confirm.
There we go.
Entertaining.
Who's
Hey!
blaming me? I don't run anything this show. I just show up and drink.
there it
Show up
is.
and drink.
Yep.
That, you know what? That should be our new next title. Show up and drink. That'll be the next show we do.
show title? Show up and drink?
Show up and drink. What do you think
I,
out there in the audience?
I think
I'll
there's
host.
a market share issue with open comms.
Yep, this is true.
No,
We will be stealing their USP there.
So here's the difference. It's the open comm shot glass and the show up and drinks rocks glass.
There
You
you
always
go.
have to have at least a rocks
Yeah, we have a
glass,
rocks glass.
We're gonna have a rocks
classier,
glass.
a little
It's
bit-
blank. It's blank and
little
full
bit-
of delicious bourbon.
Right.
Bourbon.
I'd like to say thank you very much for to Andale Chanter too for 10 months.
Shout out to Port. Correct. No frappuccinos. That's rule number 1 of show up and
No
drink.
frappuccinos. Oh, what is Uranus gonna do?
Well, he didn't say frappuccino. He
Shut. Oh, look at
coffee
that.
with-
Shut up and drink. No frappuccinos. There you go.
Yep.
I like it, Port. So also we just got a sub as we got in here. Subscribed 10 months in a row. Andal Chanter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that supporting INN here. So we got a couple things to talk about today, don't we? So we've got we're going to talk a little bit about the MIR, the monthly economic report. I say MIR because it annoys the shit out of Caleb, and that's what I do. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'd never heard it called the mirror.
Really?
I hadn't heard you call it that. I was like, what the? Is this a movie? Or yeah, what? The mirror?
I make fun of the mirror.
Like the space station?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
It's
thought.
done.
when we said it.
That shit crashed.
Not yet.
We do a weekly update onto how broken Mir is.
Oh
Right.
my god.
Yes, and we will have CSM elections results sponsored to us by the Miniature Minute there with Paramedic.
Let me correct
We
you.
covered that
GSM.
last
Thank you.
week.
GSM.
Oh, the GSM. I'm sorry.
GSM.
I did
You gotta say it
mispronounce
right.
that. Yeah.
GSM.
We covered it last week.
We
Well, no,
called it.
No, it's
we
over.
covered
Now
the
we-
possibilities.
Now we
last
can-
week.
Last
confirmed.
week we talked
We
about you
confirmed
guys should vote, and this week we talked about, hey, you guys listen. What?
Yeah, they did what we was perfect.
It's so
Good
strange.
job, everyone. You all
Turns
did
out
your
when you
job.
vote, your block gets the entire ballot.
Right, and I have a whole segment. Yeah, that'll be.
On a
All
serious note, Paramedic, could you comment on the fact that some of the things that Dirk was kind of hinting at in open comms? Do you think this whole election was actually won by the media Death Star?
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely believe that. Yeah. I assume that last week on Saturday, people were watching, and they saw my segment, and they bought thousands of Omega accounts filled with patriotic fervor.
Can you
and they
explain
voted at the
how
last moment.
how does 90 viewers get converted into 30,000 voters?
Well,
Is that,
you see,
is that how many old accounts?
yeah, I was gonna say these are largely goons, so
Yeah.
they have like 16 mining
Yeah.
lots each, like 90. Just Rorquals alone in
It's
Delve.
so every goon pilot is
care of it.
required to have 16 mining alts, 10 PvP alts, and 3 cap alts, and then
Oh,
they're-
That is
That-
woefully
No, you have that
small in
backwards.
terms
You
of
have that
numbers.
backwards.
that
That's
you
not
should be
including-
doing.
minimum requirement to
That's
join
the
goon.
minimum, and that's
Minimum.
not including the fact salts you have to support the Rorqual.
No. You have to have at least 2
Right.
fax alts per every capital ship
Right.
fielded. So every
Right,
mining
so-
2 mining alts, 1 fax pilot. But
Right,
we don't
that's-
count those.
Guys,
Fax pilots are
between-
scum. Fax
Right,
pilots
fact
are
pilots don't count. We know they're
They're
all
fucking
alts.
scum. They're
You're
all
forgetting to
They're all
count-
alts.
Oh, they're all alts.
No one's a fax. No one's a fax main. No one's a fax
Right,
main.
right.
You're forgetting all
Caleb's
the
dying.
zombie
Caleb.
balls.
What'd you say, Caleb?
I'm saying that all the zombie farmers. If the goons are into zombie farming now,
Right.
then that's about 500 accounts per player, right?
That's what I was gonna say. It's like you
Hey.
guys are all doing it wrong. Like if you guys are approaching the CSM elections or the election next year and you don't have 500 alts, like that you've been using to
What are you
basically
doing,
sort of
man?
sell
The other-
injectors or extractors with, then you're doing it wrong. Like
true.
everybody should be basically paying, or like everybody should be basically bartering off their own, like their kind of their skill farms for the lowest price. Like if you approach this time next year and not get a nice pay packet of, was it 25 to 27 billion,
Sure.
you're doing it wrong.
You are doing it
Yeah.
wrong.
I'm gonna say also, I was reading another. I just to be clear, I
what's
read
reading?
other ones, but I don't appreciate them. Just to be clear, so New Eden Report did a breaking investigative thing where they showed that I think it was the judge apparently paid, get this, 50 million ISK for votes. 50 million ISKs for votes. So if you want to,
where do people get this kind of money?
2 skill injector alts, 2 skill injector like skill or farmers, goo boys.
Yeah.
50 million. That is a huge payoff that you can make on top of the trillions you make with your 500 man.
Did the judge fully disclose all his tax forms and everything prior to this?
He did, in fact. I saw them. He basically said this.
Is that where they? Did he do this? Did he do this through a foundation?
Probably.
Okay.
I do believe he also submitted his birth certificate for review as well.
Right.
He also submitted his high school transcripts. How do you fail health twice?
Now, I'm going to say, I don't know if this is true, but somebody said that he was talking to somebody else from Red Swarm. They have a photo of them like chatting at some point. So I think maybe there might have been Russians involved. But we need to,
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, did he at least turn over his in-game mails to review?
See, I don't know. I don't know.
Shit, man.
I assume he's on the up and up.
You understand that goons are part of Red Swarm Federation as well.
Right.
We own anything that says Federation in it.
Federation,
yeah, it's a trademark.
Including the Federation.
Trademark.
That's part of how we got so many votes.
Trademark.
Right.
Alrighty, so
Christ.
we beat that to death. So
I think we can beat
I've
that a
got
little bit more.
nonsense.
It is
Can I
currently a
nonsense?
bloody
Let's see.
corpse on the floor.
Can I nonsense something before the mirror? It's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So NVIDIA is replacing Time Warner on the S&P 100 list. That's right. The graphics card manufacturer is kicking the shit out of fucking media production.
Is that because Time
Because
Warner
they
is
own
owned by
Time.
AT&T though?
Probably.
They just
Yeah.
print that magazine to throw it away.
I'm gonna say that this has purely been fueled by the fact that people are fucking mining
Bitcoin
Bitcoin.
mining.
It's
I don't give a
Bitcoin.
shit.
It's
That just
Bitcoin.
means. I love it.
By the way, if you guys
DC Master Race. That's all I'll say.
if you guys hear a bunch of banging around the household today, it's because I live below the new gymnastics studio. Apparently, at
That's
our
what
household.
You could have.
Can you hear
could've-
that? It's
you
going
could've
on up
said-
there.
You could have painted such a much more evocative picture there and said like that's manic velocity just in the cellar.
Right.
He's in the trunk. He's in the closet behind the green
Only
screen.
ever in the garage, and we ran the joke into the ground last week. So let's do it again.
All right.
Right. Just keep it
going.
fresh.
Keep it going.
Right.
Just a small one for McLeod. I know that it's a huge driver, the whole thing with the Bitcoin mining, but actually, your friend Tesla has also had a huge part in the whole automation of cars. So that's also driving a lot of NVIDIA's numbers.
I didn't realize they were using
Fucking
NVIDIA products in it. But
Oh yeah, the whole
For
board,
the processors.
the entire board for those processors. I think in most cars actually all come from NVIDIA.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
pretty awesome, dude.
Nice.
It's fucking cool.
All I
It's
Remember,
also
know,
why they're going to
car
start getting. You're going to start
probably
seeing
will-
cars get stolen just to get your hands on those high-end processors because they can mine bitcoins for fuck.
That's what I was about to say.
You know-
I was about to say your car can run Eve in better than potato mode.
There
Can
you
your
go.
Can your computer do that?
Right.
They,
Let's hear
they
about
are
this.
equivalent
Okay.
to I think it's like the current card that's in the cars are equivalent to 3 or 4 SLI serial cards.
interesting.
Oh,
So
man.
definitely worth nicking a few of those cars just to get those cards out.
Remember,
Right.
kid.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying.
but
By the way, I'm not.
cars to get graphics cards.
In
That's all. He's
yeah.
2018,
That's
By the-
all he's telling.
your car can mine bitcoins. That's
There you
the
go.
future.
That's
I'm
the
gonna go.
fucking
I'm
dream
going in
right
the garage and turning my car on right now.
Right,
Oh,
just
your
get it
car is going to get it's going to be an asset, right? Because you can park it in your garage. You can then have solar power on your roof. It can act as a storage unit, sell electricity back to the grid, right? When there's a peak need. And then it can mine Bitcoin when it's not selling the fucking electricity.
Actually,
And by the way, as well, if they actually get the autopiloting right as well, it can actually be running as a as an Uber service as well.
Is it Uber at the same time, right?
Oh, and you can of course then rent out the computing capacity when
To
it's
Russians.
not needed.
So just do what Amazon did.
Yeah. So
so that you
there's
can undermine
tons of-
our democracy.
There you go.
Now,
Excellent.
in a few months, you're going to see McLeod has actually got like 5 Teslas outside his house.
No, you said you
They're
had
making
some-
money.
I'll have the fucking truck.
Oh yeah, that's right. The big 18-wheeler truck or a normal truck?
Yeah, I'll have the truck, and then I'll have my Knight Rider in the back of it.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, why has no one actually done that?
They did. They're
A
for racing
Tesla,
team.
a black Tesla with the thing in front.
Oh,
I'd
I've seen one of
that.
those.
That would be awesome.
We actually have someone with the stupid actual car from Knight Rider set up somewhere near
I
my
thought
house.
we launched all the Teslas into space. I'm really confused now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's only the one that.
Just the one.
That's just Elon. It's his personal one.
Oh, because
Just-
there's a body in the trunk.
He switched that out, right? I mean, he got in there and just he was done. And
You hang on. You mean that there's basically 4 NVIDIA Titans that are just floating out in space that I can grab
Yeah.
and use
Yeah.
for mining?
So
not
what
know that.
Caleb has advised me to do is to start my new robbery venture of going out, stealing people's cars, and jacking them for their GPUs.
What about stealing people's
I would
ventures
like-
and putting it in
Hint,
another game?
hint,
I don't think it
hint,
was-
hint, venture.
I don't- Yeah.
Why don't we just steal people's ventures?
I'd like to say that I'd like to make this perfectly clear that we are not advocating going out and stealing Teslas. Just to make that point, okay?
Well, shit,
Yeah,
I
let's
was
be
just
clear.
ordering lockpick sets and carjacking software.
lockpick
There's not
that's
enough
not great
Teslas
for
to-
not great for cars, by the way.
No.
They don't.
Cars are
You
different.
use a Jimmy, all right?
Yeah.
You use a Jimmy and a wedge.
Jimmy, or
Biggie,
just
Jimmy and a
bash in the
wedge.
window.
Jimmy and a
But they
wedge.
can't produce them fast enough, so there's not enough market saturation of Teslas to warrant a business like that. Anyways, maybe if you live in Norway, you could get your hands on enough Teslas, but otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to actually find them.
He just
Why do you
gave
gotta
you a
ruin
great
my
I got
life?
a
Run with
Tesla
the
dealership
production
down the
and
street.
market saturation softball. Run with the production and market saturation softball for the transition to the Russian space station.
There you go.
The mirror.
All right,
go.
you guys done? Can we
mirror.
talk about the mirror now?
Yeah, I mean,
Or the monthly economic report?
I missed the Russian space station reference. That was terrible.
it crashed into the.
It did
It's
crash.
crashed. It's
I
crashed. The mirror.
Wait, is it legitimate salvage yet? Like, did the Russians warp off from the site so I can steal their salvage?
Right. If they're not there right now, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
But you're
There
going
you
to
go.
get duct tape and rust. That's all that's left.
Fuck you. Don't ruin
And
my
most
hook.
of it's fucking melted.
Yeah,
Shut
but
up.
you can melt
Don't-
it. You
I
can get like
it's
9
gold.
million.
There's gold in there.
Gold.
I don't know. Copper wiring.
All
Copper
right.
wiring is worth so much.
I think cobalt is better. It's worth more, so start
it's
stealing from
cobalt,
mobile
yeah.
phones instead.
All right, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
This show is not about ideas for what to actually nick. It's about
This-
a
this-
gaming show.
The Crime Minute has been brought to you by the S&P 100.
I'm gonna share this with our
The
audience.
Russian
I
space station.
actually made a schedule for the show, and these assholes
We
are
were-
doing
we were-
best to avoid
tried to
sticking
We
think
to
were
the
really
schedule.
on point with the schedule for until like 4 minutes ago.
Hey! I tried to get back on by having a smooth segue over to Venture and Star Citizen, but no.
I referenced it. I said, let's just steal ventures and put them in other games. But no one caught it.
All right, I'm moving on to the mirror
Okay.
because it
Fair
knows
enough.
Caleb.
Is there ventures in there?
No,
It's propaganda hour.
there we are. A
it's
little
mirror.
Eve news on the monthly
Mirror.
economic report. Woo!
Look at it. It's
Look at
gorgeous.
this beautiful graph.
Look
And
at
look, I
that.
made the numbers smaller
Numbers and shit.
because these are in
I don't know what it
billions,
is.
so it's, we can see
No,
here.
you're right.
Check
Caleb,
this
can
out.
you explain to me what these charts mean?
It means that Dell is winning.
All right, Delve is winning.
Okay.
We're doing
Look.
good, boys.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was winning.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Caleb, when can you expect that we can go home and stop having to farm Delve in order to prove that we're winning?
Never, never.
It's been like this for like almost 6 months now.
Yeah,
It's been producing about between 25 and 30% of the entire expenditure.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. When can I go home to my
Now.
wife and children?
No. No. What are you talking about? You can't do that.
Hey,
You don't go home to your wife and children.
Noisy
You bring
gamer.
your wife and children over
Hey,
here.
guys.
Yeah, they should be flying some of your alts.
Oh,
Take the
okay,
load
I
off.
see. So free labor, got
But
it.
take the
Chris
load off.
Ball has been
Ball-
advocating
Whisper
this.
Ball
So-
promotes child mining.
So, by the
Take-
way, so Noisy Gamer
Yeah.
brought up something good in chat, right? So, if you go to the website, you can't download the files because the link's there. You get a beautiful 404 error. So, you actually have to go to Falcon's forum post to download the actual files, which is where I got the data for these, right? So, hey, Delve. So we're winning. Delve's winning, right? Let's move on to the next slide, which we're going to talk about top 5 production by month, which also says. What do you think
Delve's
it says?
winning.
Does
Delve's
it say
winning.
that Delve's winning?
Delve's winning.
Delve's winning!
Ooh, I
Yay!
got it. I
Delve's
got
winning.
it. How many points
You
do I
can-
get on my exam? How many free extra credit do I get on my
By the
exam?
way-
None.
Well,
You forgot to
well-
phrase your answer in the form of a question.
Question, no, the question is, will Dell do the triple?
The triple. So we're going to look at the
Triple.
top 9 regions by mining value next year. Here, look at this. What does this say? All together.
I see a giant
All
orange.
those
Change the
bots.
colors on me. I'm confused now.
Del was
All
winning.
those bots.
All those bots, all those mining bots.
All those mining rook walls. Mhm.
Oh, the triple is on.
This is what happens when you plan to win a CSM.
There you go.
Just
There you go.
Get all those alts.
When
So-
are we getting tax breaks, though?
But you know what's really important? You know, how many people are killing people in Delve? Oh,
Yay!
So I'm very much aware
So-
of
so-
this number, and I can almost guarantee you that those are because of those FC tournaments that have been happening.
well,
And so it's more or less we're just killing ourselves.
nothing shows like, you know, the blue line
Actual kill
is,
statistics. This is tournament training.
this is tournament training, right? So the blue line here is all the income in Delve, and that little gray line at the bottom is like all the destruction in Delve. So it's like
Crash test destruction. It's
Jesus
not actual
Christ.
kills.
What's the orange line in between?
the orange
Income
line in
by
between.
ratting.
That's just
Ratting
ratting
and
and
mining.
mining
Per day.
per month.
Oh, it says average daily.
Oh yeah. Oh average.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
all
The
average.
daily
This is all
average.
average daily. This is all average daily.
So
Holy shit.
so let's take a look at
Eric, why do I need PAPS again?
you know. Okay.
Okay.
900.
This is my favorite graph
billion
because
average.
now look up here in the upper
Y'all are
upper
some serious
right.
Care Bears.
You're
I
starting-
think we should.
You're
I think
welcome.
upper right here.
Can you go
Excuse
back
me,
for
I
1 second?
represent that comment.
What do you want to go back?
I want to go back to just, yeah. I just want to point out then, like, we talk about these notable, a notable fight is, like 250 billion was destroyed or something like that. And ratters and miners in Delve are making just a hair under $1 trillion
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah.
Notable
day.
fight would be 25 trillion now, I think.
And your
Right,
point
like,
is-
if you're
It's
not
crazy.
killing 4 keep stars,
You're not doing anything.
it's literally replaced daily.
The problem is paramedic.
It's already
You can't
replaced
kill
before
4
you've
keep
actually
stars
typed
because
in
the
already
fucking
replaced.
system sucks.
Right.
We actually have backup keep stars in every single Fortizar that also has a keep star in
Right,
that
right.
system.
Yeah.
You kill
So-
a keep star, the Fortizar just pops out of it.
So
It
Well,
goes
it's the
up ready
standard
to go
joke
fully
from
fledged.
It's a Russian doll situation. Like you take apart one keep star, there's another smaller keep star, and that has a house. Then another keep star comes out of that, but it just keeps going.
Well,
Nesting keep stars.
Delve Coin. That's right. Incubus is right. We've got Delve Coin working here. So this
It's-
is what
it's the
I'm
standing-
Oh, sorry.
can I
Go ahead,
finish my
Caleb.
comment?
Yeah, you're a little.
It's the
you're a
standing
little
joke
light.
from last year that we were commenting on more than once. That the biggest fight of 2017, right? The cost of that was not even a month of Aerith's personal income, not the Cabal, his personal wealth accretion.
Wasn't that fight wasn't the cost of that fight made up by Delve in half of the time taken for that fight?
Something like that.
Cabal on Mars.
So I'm waiting for the visceral CCP reaction to this giant jump here in money supply. Because if you go back here to November, December of 2017, right? Or 2020, yeah, no, what is it? Yeah, December of 2016. That little jump there is the amazing freak out where we had to nerf carriers, right? And now we have a bigger jump. What's going to be the freak out this time? I'm just wondering.
Did you check
Nerf supers.
If that's
Reworking
online?
another-
Well, that jump started in April of this year. So what happened in April?
Eric, did you check if that's concurrent players change, or if it's a specific group that's actually mining?
There's no jump.
out?
There's no jumping concurrent players.
Are you sure about that?
I'm absolutely 100%
So
sure.
it's not activity based. It's pretty much just that some groups are now
Industry
sucking.
based.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. So
I mean, that's a
Goons are now Saudi Arabia, and we're mining the shit out of all of our resources, even though everyone else doesn't want us, so we can crash the market.
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alrighty.
Deflation.
So that's your mirror update for the month. You know. Oh, and SA Polestar, thank you for the sub via Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. You know, Para.
Yes.
Does it happen to be time for a mini true minute?
It's always time for a minute of truth. Absolutely.
Minute of truth. All right. Well, we are going to go to that here in a minute.
It takes us a minute to get to the one.
It takes a whole minute. It's a lot of truth.
There's so much truth here.
It's like watching.
So
It's
much
like
truth,
it's
nothing
like
but the
watching
truth.
Usain Bolt run a race. It's like it takes you longer to watch the race.
Well,
than
it
to
didn't
actually
really
do
work.
the race.
It's fine.
There you go.
There's a thing. Yeah. So CSM guys, just want to go over some numbers here. A total of counted votes. Now there were some people who voted for ineligible people and nobody else for a reason. 29,226 people voted. Of those, correct ballots, this ballot right here, the correct ballot, right? That's 4,518. That's a total of 15% voted correctly and in order, right? Additionally, we had 2,058 people. For your convenience, there was a link to the correct ballot that you could just click on, but you still had to rearrange, the names to put them in the correct order. 2,058 votes did not do that. Just didn't feel like it. Just clicked once and then just didn't feel like doing the rest. Fine. But that's 22.5% of all the votes total were goon ballots. So anybody who wants to complain about there's too many goons on the CSM should vote. I mean, that's just the thing, because we did, and then we won, and that's how elections work, right? It's really weird, but if we have 22.5% of the total of votes, our candidates win. It's really strange. I know it's a really novel idea. But that's just what happens. It's just what happens. About these candidates, though, I do want to reassure everybody. As we just saw from the MER, from the MER, from the Monthly Economic Report, we're doing very well economically, which means we kind of like the way things are going. and will then continue to lobby to help make sure that things continue to benefit the overall wealth of all of New Eden, which comes in the form of delve mining and ratting. Apparently,
Is this a form of trickle down economics? It trickles down from delve to other people. Is that it?
I don't know.
Or is this
that
trickle in?
It's a pool. If total money and wealth in the game is a pool, what we're doing is expanding the pool, but we've got those little barriers, so there's these little circles where you can go if you know how to swim, the ones where you can't go. There's a shallow end and a deep end. We rule the deep end. We're way deep in that shit. Just
You want to
the total money supply is going up.
You want to repeat that, please?
The total money supply is going up, and
It's all ours. So of course we're going to help maintain the stability of New Eden, the stability of the game, because that's like in our best interest. So there's no need to worry about, the goon biased CSM is going to vote mostly. They're going to advocate for goon supporting issues. Best for everyone.
The vote for goons is the vote for a better New Eden.
That's it.
I mean, I'd like to say that it's quite obvious that goons were the first real people to fully embrace trickle-down economics, right?
Right.
And it's quite clear from the CSM voting that they've also quite clearly demonstrated that it is effective to utilize trickle-down STB voting.
Right. And I will also say, again, with the numbers, like we've got really interesting numbers. For example, 1.7% of the total votes cast were cheeky motherfuckers who thought that they were smarter than the state. So they voted the ballot, but they rearranged one or two names. Like they thought, maybe we don't want the judge, or maybe I really like, whoever, Brisk Rubel is the top, or something like this. Like,
have they been gulag yet?
They were really cheeky, clever people.
Commissar.
But I just want to say, they were 1.7% of the total voter turnout. Like nearly 2 out of 100 voters were people who thought they were smarter than the state. Again, anybody who's concerned about the way the vote came out should have voted in the CSM.
I heard rumor that 1.7% were the ones that CCP banned for us.
Right. Those were the ones who had their accounts deleted, which led to, I think, the mass outages. They made up something about a faction for Dazar, but I think they were just erasing people from history.
I absolutely agree with you.
The CSM, incidentally, has that power. It's a simple vote. So, just watch yourselves.
All right, we're going to transition back to the main screen, folks.
That's not a threat. That's just a cautionary tale.
That's just him telling you the executive powers of the CSM.
Right, the total executive authority of the CSM. Not a lot of people know about that.
Just delete keep stars and player accounts.
Right.
By the way, terrible transition production by Eric today. He's just sucking it. So good thing he made a list telling him what to do.
We're trying to be really fancy. The level.
That's what that's for. Now I understand the schedule. It's just so you remember how the transitions work. Let me go delete that schedule real quick. Hold on.
Just delete it.
Just start backspacing shit, adding in their zoom really far in on your
Uranus
is 14.
I'm kind of bummed that Sullen didn't make it on because I like him. He's a pretty nice guy, and but I am excited that Brisk made it on because I think that'll be interesting.
I wanted to actually say something about this because I've been in a channel that's had a lot of the stats kind of thrown up about it, but I just wanted to say that considering that nobody before this particular one knew who Brisk was, I would like to say that Brisk got the 4th highest number 1 position voter ballots.
Wow.
You know who got number 1 though? Well, doesn't Jintan get Brisk got the most number 1 voter ballots?
No, Brisk got the 4th highest number 1 voter ballot. Arith got the highest.
Arith got
because Jintan had the most actual mentions at over 15, 50%, 56%. I think the number was where Jintan was on the ballot somewhere.
Yeah.
6,644 people voted for Arith first.
I think this is just proof that Jintan is just too popular, and the weeaboos of EVE Online need true representation, and Jintan is clearly not giving us that, and we need cat ears for character designs now.
So you're running next year.
I'm pretty sure that anime is cartoons. I think that's part of
Actually, you're wrong, because anime is actually Taiwanese cave paintings. Thank you.
I would like to say that pretty much all of the stats that I probably end up going to be using with regards to the CSM, and probably most people are going to be using, came from Noisy, kind of crunching the numbers. So like, I just wanted to shout out to Noisy because he's a fucking
Thank
legend.
you, Noisy. Excellent. By the way, if Jin Tan's going to complain that he got, the popular vote and he wants to move away from the Electoral College, I'm just going to squash him. Just saying. So what? Oh, no, Third Eye, Eric, no. Eric never once
Eric
elected
Perez,
position.
I'm down.
Eric
Eric,
has
I'll be your campaign advisor.
Eric has enough elected positions in his real life. He's good.
I
Don't need more.
Apparently, I am a kingmaker now because my brief appearance last time ended up with us just having winning the CSM.
You did.
So,
I think.
Yeah, if you want to be,
You're Eve's Rupert Murdoch.
Media appearances work.
Right. It turns out. People just enjoyed a little bit of truth. I really want to also shout out to the total of 8,149 people. That's 27.8% of all voters who voted for our ticket for the first 5 and then kind of like wandered off and voted for other people and got like really confused.
All I know is all 50 of my accounts voted the Goon ticket. I'm just saying.
Right. That's and thanks for doing your part, not just for the Imperium, but for all of EVE players whom we now represent. By the way, all of EVE players whom we now represent, like who now have no voice other than us.
You know what?
We will make EVE great again.
This is stepping out on a limb. Maybe this is being a little too much of an asshole, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? Do you think when they were counting the votes, somebody at CCP goes, "Fuck, we got that many goons"?
Wait, I don't want to be president though.
I mean, I'm serious. Do you think anybody said that?
No, I think they are very well aware of how many goons there are.
I think they went something like this. Oh, well, this is going to be really convenient because they can just send one representative. And it
costs
Just send Aerith. Just send Aerith. Aerith will take care of everything.
Just one ticket. They can do whichever one it is. Just one ticket, and it's 5 votes.
Just Aerith or nominate.
You get fewer people on that you have to talk to. Fewer people. It's much easier to do that kind of council situation when one person speaks for 5.
So you're saying that Aerith actually bought the vote so you can send someone else?
It's an efficiency thing. Yeah, I think they're probably going to send Merkelchin.
So wait. Paramedic. Why are we pretending that this isn't just Matani just shadow running the CSM at this point? We might as well just send Matani now.
Because of the wizard hat.
Yeah.
He's not allowed.
But we've kind of.
But that's the beauty of it. We could send him with the wizard hat.
No. We will. Wizard hat is a banned phrase on this show. I hate that phrase.
Is it really?
I just banned it. So.
Okay, now it's now banned.
Yeah.
Now it's official.
Yeah. So Noisy brings up something. If it weren't for PL, thered be one less goon on the thing.
In actual fact, there's a kind of funny thing about that because if it wasn't for PL, like getting rid of Creature, Judge wouldn't have actually been on.
Yeah.
That's backed up by stats as well.
I thought it was the 50 million.
So
sorry, no. It was 50 million. The what the fuck is it? The SP farm kind of money that the judge allegedly paid in order to actually get the votes
like
for.
Half of a
that basically confirmed that he got the last place. If he didn't do that, it would have been, I think, TikTok, which would have been a PL dude.
Well, I'm gonna say, here's the thing, just to reassure everybody one more time. There are goons who go into wormholes occasionally, so wormholers are covered. We sometimes travel through Lowsec.
To kill
Lowsec is covered. No problem.
Check.
We trade things in HiSec.
And I've seen lots of pings about people killing people in HiSec.
Yeah,
they do that as well.
Go ahead, Caleb.
To the open comms guys that said that there's no high-sec representation, that it's very well known that some of the most important concepts and ideas about high-sec has actually been introduced by Aerith. So he is the high-sec candidate. If you want high-sec to actually improve, the fact that Aerith just won is pretty much the best
it is
thing
true,
that could happen.
and to be completely honest, you know, it's not just Aerith. Like, I mean, I know that all of the high level kind of stuff Aerith, you know, specializes in. But you know, if you want a you know, on the ground kind of CSM member that you know, works in the industry kind of side, it's Steve Nuke, he's in there as well.
So there's plenty of representation.
There's at least 2 candidates for high-sec.
I care about high-sec too. I mean, I have a Jita Market alt.
I would like to also say,
mandatory for all goons now, isn't it?
Yeah.
and I would like to say for all the, I would like to say for the 2 or 3 kind of wormhole guys that are probably watching, like, if you're feeling vexed about not having a wormhole candidate there, like, as Paramedic says, like, you know, goons do wormholes as well in some way, shape, or form. But I would also like to say that Bruce Grabal has personally said that he will listen to your, you know, to your plights and to your issues, and you know, will look to actually bring that to the CSM as well. So look to Bruce Grabal for your issues.
If you, I'm based on Aerith's campaign, he's not going to listen to you. So if you really want representation, address it to a different goon candidate.
Yeah.
Don't one of the new guys.
Goon Swarm representative today.
Yes, contact your Goon Swarm representatives. You all have 5. Everybody in the game has 5.
Each one has a different thing, though. Each one covers a different territory.
Brisk.
Who's the Abyssal Space Goon Swarm rep?
I lost. He blew up.
Oh, okay.
That's a good segue. That's a really good segue.
You know, it's time for McLeod's Juicy Topics. By the way, McLeod said he has some juicy stuff to talk about, so of course, you know, he's going to start a whole women's clothing line after this called McLeod's Juicy Topics.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from. Like, that's a mystery to me.
There's a women's clothing line called Juicy and one called Topics.
Oh, okay. They haven't across the pond yet, so like I'll trust your word on that one.
There you go.
But I mean, what do we like? There's we've talked about the buying vote.
Yeah,
stuff.
well, let's cross that out. I'm gonna cross that out the list there. Okay, one topic down.
That's crossed out. Right. So yeah, the stuff the nice segue one was the server crash that happened earlier on this week.
Server crash? Did the server crash? I was at work.
Well, you need to log in to be able to experience
work. Fuck! Get destroyed, Eric.
But yeah, there was a server crash mainly because someone unwittingly decided to unanchor one of the faction Fortizars, and 24 hours later, it basically crashed the server because of a whole bunch of exceptions and all that kind of jazz.
Unwittingly?
I say unwittingly. Clearly, it was deliberate.
Okay. So the unanchoring of let me get this straight. Let me understand, because I'm a technical infrastructure kind of guy. Okay. We unanchored an object in the game, and it blew up the entire freaking cluster.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was all of the stuff from all of the people who have lived in that station, who had lived in that station since the inception of that station, you know, like years and years and years ago, basically had all of their stuff put into asset safety and sent to somewhere. And apparently that threw up a whole bunch of stuff, exceptions or whatever, that basically caused the nodes to crash. Whether it was in the entirety at the same time or whether it was like a cascade thing, I have no idea. But like, essentially what happened was a bunch of people, you know, unanchored a Fortizar, and you know, it crashed the entire server.
Sounds like somebody needed to update the statistics on their database.
It sounds maybe like they had one little escape that they just didn't include, and it was just like, yeah, okay, put it in asset safety. Everything, fucking everything, assets, assets.
So the update statement.
There was some nice. There was some nice memes about it.
I missed them all, to be honest with you. I didn't really see any of them. I was really busy this week.
There's been so many memes in the past, like 48 to 72 hours, that like I've lost. I can't even think of the meme for this one anymore.
I think it was
Crazy.
Fozzie's tweet that I saw that they found the quote unquote the culprit, right? Somebody who no longer plays the game but had a shit ton of assets somewhere, right? And I'm sitting there going, yes, let's broadcast that it's somebody who doesn't play the game anymore.
Might as well
someone who
That's a
may have
marketing
biomassed their
genius right there.
Like someone who biomassed their character, so there was literally no character to put the assets.
Well, let's think about it. It's somebody who has a shitload of assets and hasn't logged into the. It was a goon.
Had to be.
It was a goon. It was somebody goon off it.
Goons
Yeah,
finding bugs before anyone else to help.
Right. That's our CSM at work, fixing the game.
Fixing it.
Finding
But
bugs. and
the
fixing
funny
them.
thing, the funny tertiary aspect of this entire situation, apart from everyone kind of going, "Oh, I can't log into Eve, that sucks," was the fact that the people who were logged into Eve at the time, who were running Abyssal sites, all got their shit blown up.
Oh no!
And because it's one of those things where you can't go back in and get it, it was a total loss entirely, and pods with implants. So I think someone totaled.
So what you're saying? There's more than one petition to CCP, maybe?
Oh, fair amount.
I think they actually said straight up when they released the Abyssal sites that they were not if you go in and the servers go down, you're straight fucked.
They have
that's customer service for you.
They said that if you have a login or a crashing client crash issue, then yeah, you're not going to get your stuff back. But they've kind of changed their wordings for that over this sort of thing because it was their server that crashed, not your kind of.
Right, that's fair. Right, and you can prove pretty well. Like I was online and then the server went offline.
It's literally there's like a list of kill mails all at pretty much exactly the same time.
It's not a cord pool situation or something like this. Our Abyssal Abyssal Dead Space the solution to the money supply problem?
Apparently not. If you look at,
I mean, Caleb can kind of like talk about this to some degree, but like it is definitely adding to the amount of stuff being removed from the game.
Right, it's a money hole. The Abyss.
It's a sink. It's a money and asset sink.
If we distribute labor
I think it would just be an asset
and
sink.
don't actually have an ISK faucet, and then it potentially sinks out raw materials when you do all the reroll failing. So it could be a very thing for the economy in Eve, except I don't think they're going to hit the right balance point.
Well, this particular event was 100 billion.
Yeah. Okay, so we should repeat this every month?
Right. One unexpected outage per month. Just get rid of some.
Sounds good.
Gone.
Gets rid of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, this particular event was actually a 100 billion ISK sink, essentially.
So
all I'm hearing from this is that as soon as they let capitals go into abyssal space, run.
You said 100 billion
on purpose.
Yeah, I think someone totaled up the amount that was lost on Zkill. Like Zkill is probably over that because there's certain mods that are like mutated that Zkill can't really calculate. So it's probably over the 100 bill, but like someone said that like calculating all of the losses at that particular point was around about 100 bill.
So like 2 delve hours.
See, I think I
Two
could
delve hours.
Can we start measuring
should.
delve hours as an economic indicator?
You know what? I'll do a breakdown. I'll figure it out by hour. I'll figure it out by hour.
The next phase, Tech R5. 3 days of delve time was destroyed.
Yes, I'd like to buy. You're just going up to people like, yeah, I'm going to buy a Titan. How much does it cost? Oh, 2 delve hours. Okay, yeah, sure. That's an expensive Titan, by the way.
It sounds like this travel guide I read of someone going to Iceland where literally they bought a sandwich and just, because they didn't understand the currency, and just related how many sandwiches is this going to cost us?
Right.
Because they understand how much McDonald's is relatively,
No, seriously, I think there's a solution here. If CCP introduces alliance skins and make them temporary and put them in these abyssal spaces, and then make the difficulty of the skin fit the hull, so you have to bring a Titan to actually complete one of these sites to get a time-limited alliance skin for your Titan. That could actually resolve some of this.
I'd bring my Titan into that. It'd be fun.
Then some of the losses would be hilarious.
It would literally be amazing.
I think Delve Hours is a like a meta currency now. I think we can actually just start issuing Delve Hour tokens as an alliance. Like this is a thing.
Can we mine? Oh yeah, we can mine Delve Hours.
Well, it'll become so universal that we'll start getting into like negotiations, and we'll be like, we'll give you 6 Delve Hours.
I've also figured out why there's no scarcity in EVE, because the day that the CCP introduces actual depletion and scarcity into the game, Delve will be empty in like a day.
Well, we'll just move over to Quirius, and then when Delve regenerates, we'll come back.
We would run out of Blood Raiders in like in seconds.
Right. But can you imagine if all the anomalies and all that stuff would actually deplete? Delve would be empty so fucking fast.
Don't speak this heresy.
The entire game would be, because we would kill Delve in an hour, then we would kill Quirius and Fountain the next hour,
and then
so what we would become is this huge swarm of aliens moving from system to system and depleting
become the Tyranid. Yes,
just tens of thousands of VNIs going from system to system.
Kind of like all those sci-fi movies that we've always watched, where the aliens come and take all the resources from Earth and move on, right?
Yep.
Here
we have the representation on the CSN to make this canon.
Yep, we can make it happen.
I think it's canon now. I think we can.
Here's what we do: we deplete Delve. We put a bunch of memes out there against all of EVE. All of EVE comes in to kick our ass out of Delve, but we've depleted it already, and then we just move on. We can rinse and repeat that a couple times, right?
It's going to be the Flight of Locust patch.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that good. Is that a bad idea? Maybe I don't know.
The Tyranid from 40K is probably still the better example there.
All right. Basically, already happened just without the scarcity.
So
we're getting real close to depleting it.
True. So I'm going to cross off server crash, abysmal space.
What's the next
transition?
We talk
about the 29 billion Paladin?
So we can talk a little bit about Juicy Kill Mails. So there was a 29 billion is Paladin that some very, very entrepreneurial goons kind of noticed coming out of Jitter at one point. This was actually so this thing died in Soboseki on the Malakan Stargate. So essentially he was going somewhere, but he was going somewhere in something that was far too blingy. And I'll put the keyboard up.
Have anyone checked if that was an Aerith ult?
It probably was,
because that sounds like an Aerith ult.
And so the reason why we're pulling this up is because it isn't one of those sort of ones where like it's a shuttle kill that had a whole bunch of like, Plex in or this, that, and the other in. Like it didn't actually have anything notably expensive in that cargo. It was just purple, like all over. Like I don't even know what the hell the dude was thinking. Like I think maybe it was the most expensive level 4 running, like mission running ship in the world. Like I don't know.
So if I would have thought ahead of time, I would have run a Purple Rain trailer right before you started talking about this, but no.
Shit. Yeah, good point, man.
That's your fault for not thinking ahead.
But
we're talking about 3 officer heat sinks. We're talking about 2 officer tracking computers, an officer cap recharger. We're talking officer like guns, but officer guns like on a. Like they're not exactly as expensive anyway, but like even so, there's that. And I'd like to say, is that what were you about to say something?
I was going to say it's good for the economy.
It sounds like Eric's whole Fifth Element Project Salt thing. Destruction for the sake of the economy.
If we've got to take this stuff out of the economy, please fly ships like this and check with your CSM representatives to let them know when and where you'll be doing that.
Yep, because when this thing died, there's a whole bunch of things that just were so busy now, just running around.
Right, like 20.
Nice reference.
It's like 10 Delve minutes lost. Like,
Yeah. I'll tell you what's a few more delve.
You already done the math.
You know what would have made this kill mill better?
Oh man.
Is if you had Plex in his cargo hold.
Yeah.
Eric, could you please do the calculation and figure out what the delve minute is actually?
The delve minute.
one blow.
Because that would be fucking funny. To actually use that as a unit
minutes.
when we talk about this, then the next huge fight, we can then convert it straight into
That's
delve
right.
minutes.
We're
This is 60 delve minutes.
We could use it actually in the fights. Like if you're not actually killing X number of stuff, then you're not winning fast enough.
You're
Yeah,
not
you're
winning.
wasting your
If you
time. Go
can't
back to
kill us
crabbing.
hard enough, you can't beat us.
So we
So
need
there's
one of
one-
those. We need one of those internet calculators, you know, the delve minute. You know, put your kill mill in here. It'll tell you how many minutes it would have taken you in delve to get rid
Right,
of it.
just shit. I lost my bomber. That was like 13 delve seconds.
I think you're overestimating the price of a bomber.
Well, it depends. Now hold it. It depends on how we do it. Like, so do we take the total income of delve and divide it by the population and say
You
how long
need
would it
a-
take
No.
you, or
It's
do
just
we
total
say all of delve?
production of delve.
Okay.
I think
No,
it's
no, no,
total.
no, no,
The
no,
total
Yeah.
GDP
No,
of
you
delve.
need the per capita number because otherwise you can't use it to enforce anything. Because if it's per capita, then you can tell the goon that's actually just wasted their time doing something destructive instead of actually working on crabbing.
Yeah, but
You
we're
know,
doing it for the state. We're
there
doing
were-
it for the state, so you have to look at it from the state level, which
Right,
means you have
state
to use the
level.
full
I think it is-
GDP
yeah.
of delve.
So
I think there's
regardless, guys.
opportunity for different metrics here. I think you can have like the global delve minute, and then I think you can have like a personal delve minute.
Yeah,
which
you
is
can
the
do
per
a global.
capita.
You can do a global delve minute and a per capita delve.
Yeah, just like in real life, you use global to prove that you are the best nation, and then you use per capita to show that you are also the actual best
Richest.
nation from the richest.
The
per
best
capita.
citizens, right? You not only the best nation, but also the best citizens. And I think that it's really a good metric because the thing is, of course, the people who are losing their ships are the ones who are logging in, which means they're the ones who are probably not making billions, right? These are the ones who are like actually playing the game. So
Because there's no one left
Well,
in Delve.
no.
Okay,
In
okay,
delve, we have our PvP alt that we go on fleets with, and then
Right,
we have
that's
our
true.
17 other accounts
The three
Right.
Stay
PvP
mining.
alts.
At least 3 PvP ults, guys.
Right.
Well, that's right,
So,
we need
so I
one
just
and-
want to take us back away from this whole kind of like fapping to our own selves sort of thing,
Okay.
right?
I don't know
Let's
why.
do it.
I'm really happy.
Sure.
Why
Yeah.
would you do that?
What are you doing?
You're ruining it. You ruined the show.
But I just wanted to say that aside from all of this happening, right? You guys
Okay.
did lose a faction Fortizar.
Oh no!
We
The
lost
first
Oh,
faction
no.
Fortizar that died was one that Goons put down.
Pour some out for
We-
your faction,
It wasn't
homie.
owned by us.
I'm gonna pour
at
some
the
out for
time.
the faction, homie. There you go.
It
was
was
it?
all the way down in Tenerifis, but it was a faction Fortizar that was. It was a station that was initially put down, and if I literally find the Dotland thing,
Oh,
it was
so
put down in 2008, and it was
I see.
called.
I see. It's not our.
Yeah, it's not actually, but you did place it.
Oh,
Like,
we
you did place it, and
You placed the outpost.
it was an
It
outpost.
turned into
Yeah, you
one,
placed the
and
outpost.
Look, but so
I may have been twisting it a little bit to make it seem a little bit more interesting.
Why are you doing that?
Why would you
Fake
fucking be a
news.
dick to teams
it's
like
an
that?
absolute tragedy that some pubbies lost a structure that we lived in one time. Like that's
Fake
ridiculous.
news.
Pubbies need to show some fucking respect and protect structures we live in.
Your
Like, that's-
goon representatives.
I just wanna say-
on the
God
CSM,
damn
you
it.
protect their assets.
I'm just saying, like, congrats to Test being the first people to blow it on one up.
Are you trying
their
to
own
introduce some
space.
sort of Falcon Island moment here?
Say what?
We are
What?
a very neutral, fair, and balanced thing. That's why Test, good job at whatever you did.
who
The
owns
thing
it
that no
today?
one actually cares about.
What is a catch minute relative?
It was
to
owned
itself?
by
That's
some-
a devalued. That's like
Hold it.
Zimbabwe currency.
We can have a
right?
whole exchange structure,
Right,
Right?
right.
right?
This is how we solve the problem of the ISK economy.
The only thing I
build a
want
meta economy on top of
The
it.
only thing I want right now is someone to fucking mod Z-Kill and change it to being dude minutes.
Right. Take out the thing about the real
Take
money
out
cost and do delve minutes.
Just do
and fucking-
delve minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, just delve minutes and esoteric minutes or something. Just
Oh my
code is
god,
on
that'd be
GitHub,
fucking amazing.
So if the code is on GitHub, we can just get the code and just host it on the Goon servers.
You
That's
can do
effort.
that. I have no idea how to do that. Okay,
Effort.
I am not a software guy at all anymore. At all. No.
Effort.
I'll just ask the code of.
Well, the mortgage, I got you. Other than that, I've got nothing.
I'm literally waiting for the plaster in my ceiling to fall on my head with the stuff going on above
Is
me.
the gymnastic studio getting
We
crazy?
feel
Crazy.
you,
Hear
Desert
that?
Fiend.
No, we don't actually hear it.
No, we
That's
don't hear
fine.
anything.
You really can't hear. Holy shit!
No, it's actually okay.
It's too
We actually
bassy,
can't hear
probably. It's
Yeah.
probably too much bass.
That's what it is.
it. Fuck you.
Ugh.
It's too bassy.
She's like,
Yeah.
she's like, Dad, I won't play my music too loud so that you can hear it on the stream. But then she's up there doing like banging around, and I'm like, holy shit!
I thought you were upstairs and it was downstairs. Okay.
No,
Right.
I'm on the first floor, right? So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Front door.
Okay, now
is
this makes more
actually
sense.
Right there, the front of the. I'm right at the front of the house.
That's right. Yeah. That's how come we can hear the pizza guy every once in a while on comms.
No, that was years ago, by the way, and that was me
But it's still
ordering
fucking
pizza
great.
over the phone. Right? Yeah. That
Oh,
was good.
That
Are
was
we
one of my
talking pizza
favorite
guy? Or are we
things that
talking
ever
like
happened.
Los Angeles pizza guy here?
So what's it?
Eric had to
what?
teach how to order pizza. Or how
Oh, I
to,
like the abbreviation you just made there, Per.
Yes,
DTU.
DTU.
That's awesome. That really.
Delve time units. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's
DTUs,
awesome.
baby.
DTUs,
Oh.
baby.
DTUs.
Man, I'm gonna need to change underwear after that. Oh.
Beautiful.
We're gonna start submitting the corrected MER reports.
With
We're
DTU.
all gonna be
Turn them
using
back into
DTU.
So just norm things against us.
So, yeah, okay. I'm gonna ask a silly question.
Hold on. Maker 67 says one wheelbarrow full of catch minutes equals 1 MN civilian afterburner.
That's almost accurate.
It's not even a micro, it's the afterburner. Oh. The problem is it is accurate.
Right. Just brave. Come on now.
Talking about burning, should we move on to the next topic?
Well,
Yeah,
we could,
yeah,
I have
yeah.
one more. I have one more. I have one more.
One more mirror joke.
DTU could
Okay,
be good, but we could be
GTU.
Oh fuck! I forgot. It's like Titan units or something. How many Titans?
Well,
per
I
minute?
think we can also do straight up Goon Swarm shares that are the taxes that come in a delve hour, right? Because it's going to be 10% or whatever.
Shares.
It's Goon shares. Goon shares. That
Goonshare.com.
I don't like it.
one Goon share is the tax amount that Goon Swarm earns during because we're doing 900 million an hour.
Yeah.
Then we're making 100 billion as a corporation, or 900 million as a corporation in that hour. That's a Goon share. That's
We'll figure it
a
out.
unit. Right. We'll work on it.
Next, stay tuned for the for next week when we come up with some esoteric.
I was gonna
strategy.
say, like, this-
Measurements.
I was
Week
going to say
one
this is
economy.
All right, so McLeod wants us to move on to.
no. Well, I kind of want
Wait.
I kind of want to move on because I'm
Economy yet?
kind of need to get going. But like even so,
Yeah.
like you can tell that you guys are geeks because like you want to crunch the numbers and actually create it live on the show.
Right.
I
right.
didn't
That's
put
what-
this shit in a database for no reason.
That's what our viewers want to see. Our viewers want to see just furious masturbation about our productivity and
Furious masturbation about our
Furious
productivity.
masturbation about production.
You know,
Right.
Para, let's work on an article together and let's make that the title. New article from INN.
Oh
just
my
furious
God.
masturbation about productivity. Yeah.
Is it more productive to use lube while writing that
I-
article?
Oh, they want the Grand Aegis to come on and explain it.
Oh my.
We should do that. We should do that. And we should ask him to comment on the whole conversion in DTU.
Well, maybe let's see what we can do next week on that one.
Well, I mean, that is
Can we
literally with
get a
that.
custom item in Eve that's just called a GTU, so you can pass it around?
Would that wouldn't that be like the Grand Nagus' ultimate goal though? Was to be like completely remove the monetary value and then just substitute the time value to maximize the monetary value?
It's very pure. It's a very Marxist kind of economy. I'm really into it.
Yeah. Let's do it. Alrighty.
So yeah.
I think
let's talk about your last juicy topic.
My last juicy topic is something that's happened in the last 48 to 72 hours, and that's the reason why all the memes I've just been on meme overload. I can't take
your meme venture, if you will.
Yes, my meme venture.
A meme venture.
It's been an amazing venture.
How is your space? Okay.
But as we have someone who actually does have a Star Citizen access
addiction.
It's not me.
It's probably me. I think.
I don't even know what this game is.
It might be Scythe.
But,
I didn't even hear about this until you told me. That's the best part.
Wow, what the fuck, man? even so. So basically, if people are kind of clueless in
I'm gonna go buy it now. I'll be right back.
As to what's going on.
Where's my wallet? Hold on. I gotta throw money at this.
If people are clueless as to what we're talking about in chat, then essentially you haven't been on Reddit at all, and I can understand that. I can completely understand that. But basically, the Eve subreddit and the Star Citizen subreddit has been going completely mental at each other, to the point where it's possible that one or both might get shut down.
That's right, as they might get shut down because of this.
The reason why they might get shut down is
I'm just going to sit here and smile and not say anything about this topic.
Yeah, first you should explain why they're going to get shut down.
Go on, McLeod.
So the reason why they might get shut down is because of a thing called vote brigading, and vote brigading is basically when moderators of one subreddit board tell their members to go and upvote or downvote, or basically cause havoc on another
but
subreddit.
Vote Brigade doesn't exist on our Eve.
There are no games.
The thing is us, we as Eve players are just so naturally so good at just
Reddit
doing things just
I'd like to say that goons have been wrongly accused of this. Just because a lot of people agree, and because they are active in their gaming and in their metagaming, you shouldn't actually just assume that it's some sort of organized vote brigading. It's just their opinion. Just like the election of the CSM.
As Eve players, we're just naturally good at coordinating. We don't need to actually coordinate. We're just naturally good at it. This isn't vote brigading.
This is just. As soon as you see any FC vote for something, you just vote like they did, because if they jumped, it's okay for you to jump. So if they vote, you vote.
Right. But so that's the thing.
And bees are vote brigading when they work? No, they just work.
They just do their job.
And this is the thing.
Fucking crazy.
This is the thing.
All this is.
This is the thing. Vote brigading, in terms of the rules, are based on whether the mods of that server have asked people to go over to that other subreddit to basically shut it up. Obviously, that hasn't really been the case, but there's also been a whole bunch of moderator on moderator kind of action that has pushed that all the way up.
Who filmed that?
Yeah. You were talking about that S&M stuff earlier. Before the show.
Rossi's wife, actually, she filmed all of it.
Right.
She brought the toys.
Oh God, we're going to hell.
Basically, moderator on moderator action is the CSM candidate video that you don't want to watch.
Oh my God.
Can someone do the quick math? If you can convert a venture in Eve into a venture in Star Citizen, what is the conversion rate of a DTU?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right. Well, hold it.
Wait, how many DTUs is a venture conversion though? How much do I need to mine to do it?
Remember, there's
the venture
for a DTU. We take 10%. So
yeah, we do get 10%.
That was real money for goons.
Right, ventures are definitely in Delve seconds, not in Delve
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah,
It
for
might
sure.
be-
So there's very
might be
small
microseconds.
metric.
Yeah, we're gonna need some
Yeah.
floating points. That's for
But
sure.
I think-
So as a quick thing,
Make
like
sure you
this is
warp
all
stab
based
your
around.
Let McLeod finish.
Wait.
So as a thing, like this is all based around the fact that like Star Citizen, like newest like ship that they're releasing is this ship that, no word and lie, is called the Drake Vulture. And it looks, I mean, controversially, it looks very much like a what's it, not a prospect, well, it looks like a prospect, but it looks like the
Venture.
the Venture.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
just more of the same.
uncanny.
Don't you remember the story with the backgrounds that he used for his promotional material, which was basically the background from Eve?
It was MNC,
Well,
he took the
know
MNC
what?
Galaxy and put it up in the skybox.
Yeah. But then again, not everyone can have a not. Sorry.
You're echoing. Somebody's got.
Oh, okay.
We're next level. You're talking over yourself.
Damn.
That's amazing.
Fucking hardcore goon.
That's some good shit.
Fucking
This is
amazing.
fleet comms all over again.
You take the term double speak to a whole new level.
Oh yes.
You're gonna get a promotion from paramedic.
So Star Citizen is apparently charging $120 for their venture.
God damn it.
Wow.
We convert the amount of ISK it takes from a venture in Eve into a Plex, and we take that monetary value of the I guess the DTU of a Plex, convert that to real money, divide that by 120, and then we have the DTU of the Star Citizen venture.
But
I
I would like
to-
to. I would like to say
a lot less
the
efficient.
equation to figure out, like you figured out the equation makes me so proud of you right now.
There are
Don't
scientists
forget-
We
who
boo
are
for
trying to
life.
figure
All
that out.
right, we boo for life. That's for you.
So this makes me feel, why would we want to go over to Star Citizen when we can get more for our DTU in EVE Online than in Star
Well,
Citizen?
this is the beautiful thing, because CCP themselves have said, oh, this looks like quite a motive subject. Why don't you guys go and fight about it in spaceships?
Right.
And then link the free-to-play sort of EVE Online
That was a
website.
pro move.
Fucking
by
so
That was
good.
that's amazing.
Top-tier marketing by Gardo.
Oh man.
by the way.
Oh my god,
That was
paramedic.
amazing.
That's another brand. We should dedicate every second show and call it the Delve Minute.
The Delve
The
Minute.
Delve minute.
God.
Totally.
It's an
totally
economic
cool.
reward.
Anytime
more
we do a
bumpers and
mirror, it should
stingers.
The
just
Delve Minute.
No,
After
no.
that minute, I'll tell
we
you
need
when
it.
to
We
finish
need a
production.
fade in. We need a fade in for a new segment that is the mirror. It's just called the Delve Minute though, because the mirror is just saying Delve 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it needs to be.
Beautiful.
Eric,
We'll
production
have
team, get on that.
We'll have a little running. Next show we'll have a little running ticker, sort of like the debt clock. We'll call it the Delve clock. How much money made during this show in Delve?
How many
it
good
could be
minutes
like-
did it add up to? Right.
Have that clock tick from like 1 minute to midnight, and then it goes. ding.
Around.
Oh,
And then around
God.
8 a.m. it it kind of stops for an hour, and then oh wait, that's what you were saying.
I want to ask everybody when they realized that we'd made too much money, because I realized that Goons had made too much money about a month and a half ago when I saw somebody throwing a Keepstar up on a contract in fucking 1DQ for 200 mil bill.
So I realized we made too much when we first moved down to Delve, because that was eventually going to happen.
I determined we made too much when I bought a hellhole for 12 billion ISK.
Well,
when I saw the stockpiles screenshots from the Cabal that was actually issued, that's when I knew that it was impossible to ever catch up with Goons.
Made too much money.
Eric.
The
Eric, I
money
need to ask-
in that is just amazing.
Yeah.
what are you
Eric,
gonna
I need
ask
to
me?
ask you a question real quick. Like, how long has Zaka been playing Eve so far?
So Zarker joined us in H1Z1 and then came.
Yeah, I
back
know.
to Eve, right?
I know.
So
I
I
know
think
you
it's. I don't know. Let me. I can actually check that out.
He's,
Hold on.
It's
Give
like
me
the-
give me a minute.
For
Give me a
almost
minute.
2 years. Almost 2 years.
This
Almost
is
2
why
years.
I know you guys make too much money, because the one, like, a person who started 2 years ago
Has multiple
from
success-
0 has gotten a Titan before I have, and I've been playing for fucking 10.
Me too, right?
Well, as you know, Zarker is
He
just a
was given
little bit
his,
of a little bit of a farmer.
He
might-
is.
he
He's
might
good
be
at
one of the
math.
He can concentrate and generate a lot of ISK. Plus, he got a little help from a farmer, right? Who loaned him his carrier and then never logged into the game again. Right?
I mean-
Remember that? You got a carrier
Yep.
so he could carry
I
your
do.
rat, right?
I do. 'Cause he's a
He
butthole.
he is just tending to his crops. As a lowly farmer, he is tending to his crops.
He is.
To make sure the rest of us can have full
Well,
bellies.
so-
and eat.
Those who don't
But
know,
that's
when we
going to be
played
on the next
H1Z1,
SRP thing. Isn't that be the next thing that's going to be financed, where you just, when you join Goons, you just get one of these, and it's like when you get a hoe as a farmer, it's like, here, go to work.
When I
And
was,
eventually, carriers for everyone.
I was on
Yay!
a fleet of, I think it was like a Thrasher fleet or a Cormorant fleet or something a little while ago, and it was just a standard issue Welpy Romy fleet, and somebody lost their 2 billion ISK pod, and who was Brave was all crowing about, oh, you blew up a pod, but I mean it was the free 2 billion ISK pod that we give out to newbies, I think.
It probably was. That sounds
Yeah, just the standard, the slave set that we give to newbies when they join.
there you go.
Right.
But anyway, those are my juicy topics for
Juicy
the
topics.
for the
Well,
day.
thank you for
They
bringing
were
juicy
so
topics.
juicy.
I gotta go to a meeting now, so
Yes.
I'll see you guys in later.
We're gonna do one last thing for the remaining folks. I'll give it to you first, Caleb.
Oh, I'm just looking forward to this whole new standardized carriers for crabbing that Aerith will sign and finance. It's going to be fun.
Hold it. Farming in JS is how Zarker and I met. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's how Port came through Zarker. That's pretty cool. Urandus, you're up.
So kick.
These final words.
Final words.
Final words. Damn, I got nothing. I can't wait for the mods to actually get onto Zkill, where we're actually calculating shit in DTUs now. So have fun with
DTUs,
that.
baby.
GTU.
Scythe.
Good job, NVIDIA, and
Why
remind
is
me to kick Zarker.
Do we have an endorsement?
As the recruitment team, remind me to kick Zarker so we don't get more people like Port. That's my bad.
That's terrible.
No,
I love
just
them
kidding.
both.
Me too. I'm joking.
Did we ever say why you are so happy with NVIDIA? Did we talk about that or
Oh,
no?
because fuck Time Warner. That's it. Fuck Time Warner.
Okay, fair.
They kicked Time Warner off the S&P 100. So fuck Time Warner. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. Time
That
Warner
works.
sucks. Yeah.
Para, you're up.
Nobody worry about the CSM situation. Get in touch with the representatives who will actually represent you. That means not Aerith. Probably Merkelchin and Brisk are the ones you want to bother. They're new.
Screwball.
We promise, the goons will take good care of the game. So don't worry. Don't worry.
That's right. We're looking out
How much
for
is
you.
did we agree was being made per delta hour?
We'll have it next. We'll have a whole chart next
We'll have a
show.
whole,
Can I just assume it's like 50 bill?
Sure.
It's a lot.
I think it's
a
more than
delta
that
hour
is
is
the
about 900. It's 900 billion divided by 24.
Yeah.
So, right, whatever
There you
that
go.
is.
Yeah.
Divided
On
by
that,
60 gives you the minute.
Right, the minute.
Well, we said 900 and how much?
900 divided by 24 is one.
Goon hour. That's a goon hour.
37.5 billion ISK an hour, people.
37.6 billion ISK is one delve hour. There you go.
There you go.
There
All
it
right.
is.
I just want to thank everybody for watching the show. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the subs, all the follows, everything that you guys do, talking in chat. We think it's great. I want to thank everybody from being on the show today. Caleb, Urandus, Scythe, Para. Thank you. You certainly make the show more fun. And with that, we are headed out, folks. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.